What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Just waiting on the crew to get in, and so we can get started. But we got a great show lined up for you guys. Going to be talking about marriage and what men fear about it. So we going to talk about it. We're going to have some discussions about different things that make men not want to commit, or just possibly make them want to hold off on marriage. So we're gonna hopefully get everybody's input on that. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and start the show. All right, good evening, everybody. Hopefully, y'all are having a great holiday evening. Uh, Happy Memorial Day to everyone that's in the U.S. and that remembered. I know a lot of people, it's been a regular day for some people. I just noticed that a lot of people were still at work today. I luckily had the day off, so I didn't have to worry about it. Some people were at different events, so hopefully I had a good time with that. And remembered the fallen soldiers, those that were MIA, prisoners of war, all that. So remembering them, and thank you to all who served and did their part in these in the U.S. war, military. Looks like I'm still waiting on the crew to join. But in the meantime, make sure you guys get over to our website over at gftradioshow.com or on our socials at gft_radio on Twitter and Instagram, GFT Radio on Twitch, or GFT Radio Network on Facebook. So make sure y'all do that. You can see all our links there, see all of our past shows, get information on new shows that are coming up. So make sure you guys do that. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And make sure you listen free on demand 24/7 on all major audio platforms for our audio only podcast. So make sure you do that as well. All right. So make sure these guys are getting the links. All right. So, like I said, we got a great show lined up. We're going to be talking about do men fear marriage? It's coming from a video that I saw on Instagram where they were talking about relationships, commitment, and if men have a fear of marriage, if they, um, have a fear of commitment, what makes men fear getting married. A lot of times when there's marriage on the table or the discussion of it, there's always that back and forth of, you know, are they ready? Is it the right time? Things of that nature. So, the one of the guests on the show that I was watching was Conceited from Wild 'N Out. If you guys are familiar with the Wild 'N Out brand, Conceited was saying that he believed that men don't fear marriage, but that they fear divorce, which was definitely an interesting take. He felt like this was a bigger problem, and that there's men that have a fear of losing either, their financial status, or their or their assets, or possibly losing. Oh, what up, though, Sonny?
Hey,
Let me make sure I can hear you.
can you hear me?
Hold on a second. I think it's just my audio. Give me 1 second and make sure I'm on the right thing. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Can you hear me now?
I think so. All right, no, maybe I'm. Not sure. Just go ahead and start talking. Of
Oh, hey guys, it's your girl Sunny Day.
course, I don't have my headphones, so. But yeah, I was just getting started talking about the topic and the fact that there's a lot of people out there that are feeling like well, specifically men in general have a fear of commitment or a fear of marriage rather, be it a fear of commitment, be it a fear of being ready, maybe a fear of uh, having the right person or having the right things in line, that the person that they're going to be with is ready, and fearing or worrying about that, just not the right time to get married. But I was talking about how that video I was watching that Conceited from Wildin' Out was saying that he believed that there was this underlying fear of divorce that was causing men to not want to get married versus, a lot of the other reasons that are out there. Like I said, he was talking about, fearing the loss of assets, having to go half on their salary with their ex, and having to pay, you know, spousal support, having to give up, all kinds of things. So it's like he had all those things that he was listing, and it was more of that he thought was causing men to not get married. What's your thoughts on that?
I feel like from what I mean, I guess like listening to him say that was kind of interesting to me because I feel like most men are fear of getting married, not necessarily because the person's going to take, because not everybody gets spousal support. Not everybody gets this astronomical amount. Some people leave relationships and it's just done. Like they don't want anything from it. Whereas it's probably the people, well, not probably, but like from my experience, most people fear getting divorced or feel fear of failure or just that finalization of what marriage is. This is the only person that you're supposed to be with. So that's where I feel like
Mhm.
most people are. Well, most guys fear marriage because it's like I have to be committed to this one person. Um, because we take a lot of us take marriage very seriously. So it's like I don't want to get married and I'm not sure. So that's why you have the people that don't get proposed to be together forever and just sometimes feel like that's not for them. And it's a lot. So but I know most of the guys that I know, some of them, a lot of them are married, but they don't like they're going through stuff and they don't want a divorce because it's like a failure situation. So it's like so you're gonna be unhappy or miserable,
Mhm.
which is crazy to me. Like I would rather be happy, but again, relationships like women are reverse. We're in relationships long term and miserable
Yeah,
without
that's
without
it.
com- without that final commitment. A lot of us do that, so it's just it's such a different viewpoint of him saying that, like being afraid of divorce. I think like to initially get married because I know a lot of guys that are married they just don't ever want to get divorced, but they had no problem with getting married. They weren't scared to get married.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that was my thought process on it. Initially when he said about the fear of divorce, at first I was thinking about how there's, a lot of people who will say, I'm a product of a divorce, or or I've seen how bad divorce can be, and will fear getting married because they don't want to go through that, right?
Yeah,
Which I think is understandable to think that, you know, things aren't 100% guaranteed to be permanent, but also to think that way before you even get involved into a
yeah,
marriage, it just seems backwards
kind
thinking
of
to me,
protective. Yeah,
to be very pessimistic about it, right? But then, like you just said, I think a lot of people that are in marriages, it's not the that initial fear of being involved in a divorce. It's that they understand or appreciate what that marriage will bring to them, or how they feel about marriage, if they feel like that's where they want to take a relationship. But once they're in it, then they feel like, hey, I want to fight for making it work, or I want to do what I can to not allow it to end. So there's that. But I definitely don't think that the initial thought is I'm going to lose my stuff. Is what most men are saying, or most men are thinking when it comes to, should you get married?
Yeah. I think it's a lot of women that probably fear marriage for losing themselves because but it's not necessary because some guys, because I can't say it's guys don't lose themselves in marriage. Sometimes they do, but I think it's more
Mhm.
um with women of fear of losing themselves because they're like I think we're so used to meeting these guys, even in relationships, and they're like they have this ideal of who they're supposed to marry, but they like
Mhm.
you, they're in love with you, but you're not, you don't fit that mold. So I think for women, it would be that the fear of losing self
Mhm.
versus so if it's the fact the men of that commitment, that final commitment, as they say, or
Mhm.
putting on the shackles, like because it's a word, ball and chain and stuff like that. So
Right.
it's also
Yeah.
like I failed because it didn't work.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that the fear of that failure can stop some people from even getting to that point, right? I was watching something recently, and that was one of the things that the person brought up was, seeing his parents go through a divorce, seeing the things that it did to his parents in terms of changing the way that they either looked at love or the way that they approached relationships. He just felt like it put him at a standstill, made him not want to um, go to that point because he really saw marriage then as more of a bad thing, that it would destroy a family or that it would make a family or not a family but a person, be it a man or a woman, look at love negatively. He was in a long-term relationship at the time, but I think
Didn't want
sometimes
the
people
finalization of
forget that. I'm sorry.
didn't want the finalization of marriage.
Right, right. And I think that some people, they look at it like, why make something, or why change something that's working, instead of looking at it from the point of view of either their partner, or just from the standpoint of you're in this relationship but you're holding it in one place.
Yeah.
Now if you decided to be in a long-term relationship and you're taking steps that are similar to marriage, I think that it becomes more of a blurred line then. But you see some people, they'll get into this literal standstill of like, okay, yeah, we're not getting any closer to what looks like we should be getting married, and we'll decide that it's that, you know,
I think
what.
that's why you get those women that say like them ultimatums because it's like
Mhm,
hey,
yeah.
and that's the thing, like if like that's why the conversation needs to be had at some point in the earlier stages because what's
Mhm,
your ideal of marriage looks like do you think about marriage, are you dating to get like those conversations or just like what's the future, like do you see yourself getting married, not necessarily like you don't have to personalize it to where it's you and them getting married, just hey, what are your thoughts on marriage or something like that so they you get an ideal of where they're at with it because then a lot of these women find themselves dating somebody for years and then y'all ain't never getting married. Whereas you might meet a woman who never wants to get married and is okay with that long-term relationship and stuff like that. But you have to have a conversation. But I think that's like I said, where it's not spoken of or it's the fear of having that conversation because of other things, it causes
mhm.
people to initiate these ultimatums, which kind of is like to the detriment of the relationship because it's like I really like you, but I'm
Right.
not necessarily ready. But now you're giving me an ultimatum, and now it's a lot of pressure.
Now you're forcing it. Yeah,
Yeah,
now you're forcing it.
and
What
it's
up,
it's
Hank?
kind of oh yeah, hey Hank.
What's up, gang? Uh, this was the goofiest damn one of the goofiest damn things I've seen in a while. Um, Niggas is always just making excuses, man. I'm so tired of hearing like a man gonna be a man. Like I don't know what type of niggas you be hanging with or the type of niggas you know. Because it's just flat out the excuse of like if I make one mistake is what he said in the joint. It's not a mistake for you to consciously drive to the girl's house and have sex with her.
Mhm.
Niggas is always telling you like I was so drunk. If you was this drunk, then how you remember bits and pieces. You remember the parts you want to remember, and not the parts you can be held accountable for. I've never been so drunk in my life that I had sex with somebody and didn't know that it happened. Or like, it's just never. I've never been in that type of situation. Maybe that was just me. But
Right.
nobody told you when you got married that it was easy. That's why everybody can't be married because it's hard. It's not easy to say that you're going to be with just this one person. It's not easy for you to say that this one person is going to get on your nerves. Y'all going to argue, y'all going to fight because y'all going to have disagreements because y'all was brought up different ways and all of that goes with it. Nobody told you when you got married that everything was going to be peaches and cream. Like, and it's just constantly like excuse and out that people be looking for today. It'll be the guys and the girls now. I was
Right.
at the park with my kids yesterday, and three random girls sitting behind me having a conversation. This one just got married, and he was in my DMs, and then we was talking, but like it wasn't nothing like that. She like, you cheating already? It's like, so that's what we doing? Like, so the goal was already for you to be cheating. You've been married for a couple of months here. We already like, it's cool. Like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but I
do
think
me,
you
you do
can't.
you.
I think in this society, it's a lot of us that take what's going on with other people and take it on for ourselves. So, like, I know people that are happily married, like doing that life thing, doing the work, and conscious, like just making making each other, like being there, showing up for each other every day, right? Then you have
Hmm.
people that I know that are just miserable. They've had this horrible from the gate before they got married. They thought that it was bullshit. Signed up for marriage and thought the effery was going to stop, and it didn't, and it's even more fuck shit, right? And if I base my way of marriage by way of my mother or other people or my friends and people that I know, I'll probably never get married because I know people that had some horrible experiences. And then for me, I don't like. I'm a person who was only engaged, but at one point, and would like to get married, even at the age I am now. Like if it's in the cards for me, I would very much like that, right? But I'm not going to marry for certain reasons. Like I won't marry just because it makes sense. I won't marry just because we got kids together. I won't marry for these superficial things. The only reason I can see myself getting married is because I'm really in love with you and I see my life with you long term. So and I think a lot of people were marrying for a fad. They were marrying for other reasons outside of them actually wanting to be married, right? So now you're miserable now. But like if I base myself off of what I know that friends and people I know go through, I would never get married. And like I think people allow themselves to base their opinions and thoughts on things based off of other people. And it's like, no, you gotta if you that's what you want for you and you meet somebody and you guys are here for that and you guys are working on it, you can't be focused on what so and so got going on. You can't get above like if they're miserable, yeah, they're gonna be miserable. Don't let their misery trickle over to what you got going on. You're not miserable.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. I definitely think people don't realize that their situation is definitely unique to them and unique to what they put into it versus looking at what other people are doing. I mean, it's nice to get advice. It's good to take a look at what's happening so that you can not make the same mistakes or that you can do certain things that are right in a relationship, but to just solely base everything that's going to happen to you and your relationship on somebody else's situation doesn't make sense.
yeah.
That's what I was about to say. Like, we all can only go off the experiences that we have for things. But when I'm going off of the experiences that you have, I got to pick and choose what works for me. I give people this example all the time. My aunt and my uncle are in their 70s. They're like mid to late 70s. They've been together since they were like 10 or 11. Okay. I have no idea what it has taken them to get to be together that long. I can't say that they're relationship goals or they're what I want to have because I don't know what it took for them to sit in that front room together. I
Yeah.
don't know what
Right,
that takes.
right.
And that's the
Mhm.
thing that people always like. This is the problem with marriage is marriage has to go like this or it has to relationships have to go like that where that may be not what works for me and my wife or Willie and his or Sonny and hers because that's what our situation is. You can't always look at other people's situations and say like it's either good, bad, or indifferent because you don't know what it takes for them to be in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You
not cookie
you might
cutter.
Yeah, there's no rule book for this. It's like raising kids. There's nobody when they tell you it's a boy or it's a girl or you want to cut the umbilical cord that they then hand you the secret pamphlet on how to take care of this thing. That's not
They
how it works.
absolutely don't.
There's trial and error here. This is why everybody likes the play stage because it's fun. Everybody likes to have fun. Marriage is serious. Like marriage is like
Mhm.
having a career. It's not like having a job. It's a totally different
Mm,
situation. You got people
right.
depending on you. You got shit that has to be done whether you want to do it or not. You have a whole nother person outside of y'all even having kids, like outside of having a family, that you have to consider when you do anything. Like that's the stuff that makes it serious that people don't really want to deal with. They want to continue to play, and playing is cool in your 20s. But when you get to be 40s and 50s, and it's like you need somebody to remind you about taking that pill, or did you get those prescriptions, or you just want somebody to talk to, you just want somebody to love, like
Right.
you just want to hear something nice in the like or have somebody just there. Those are
Yeah,
all the things that nobody thinks about in them situations, but those are the kind of conversations that you need to be having. Like Sonny was saying when I first jumped on, like just asking the person on that date. Like it ain't gotta be date number one, but all right, after we feel like, all right, damn, I'm kind of feeling her. Let's see where she's at with this. Cause if this ain't where you at, if you just want to play, let's play. But let's not get past
yeah,
play with you because you don't want to go
Right.
past this. You don't want to be serious. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Is most people don't want to be serious. They want to play. And when you get into a marriage, like a lot of people have rings on and change their last name, and a lot of people aren't in a real situation. Same thing like you was just saying about taking advice from people. Like just because you get advice from somebody doesn't mean that you solely implement what they just told you. It just
yeah,
takes you take bits and pieces from everything. I try to learn something from everybody. That was the thing that attracted me to Smooth so much. Was Smooth always said, "Don't get mad at the person, just improve your argument." But you can't improve your argument without doing homework on that thing.
yeah,
So if
Right.
you don't do any homework on this situation, whether it be a marriage or a relationship, an individual, or whatever the situation is, if you ain't did no homework on it, you can't make an educated opinion. You can just act off. So, well, Sonny told me this happened when she did it. Willie told me this happened when he did it. And now you going off the opinion and experiences of others who ain't you. Like,
yeah, yeah. And then you like you, especially when you know your situation is not necessarily where they're at. Like people just be like people to be going through stuff, and then at the end of the day, like you gotta. We always said on the show many a times, think about the people you're going to advice for. Like think about the people that you're going to get this advice from. You can't get advice from everybody. You may love these people, but you can't take advice from everybody you love because everybody not necessarily not where you are. It's just that
they don't
they
even
might
look at
not be
it
in
the
a good
same way that you
space.
do.
Yeah,
You can't take advice from somebody on how to save money who ain't got no money. Like,
Right. Right.
nigga ain't got no bank account. How's he who you going to learn about saving money?
yeah,
Because, like, something about this ain't right. You can't go to the fat nigga on how to diet. Like, something about this ain't right. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like, how do you go to your single friend with your marital problem when she has no idea what this is? She's
yeah,
just going off the experiences that she's seen, but she has no experience in this situation herself.
Yeah,
yeah,
I definitely feel like people who, give advice sometimes, they may have a purview into something that either occurred for them or that they've seen in their own family or friends or in their friend groups and things like that. But you definitely have to take everything either with a grain of salt or consider the source, right? You got to definitely consider the source instead of saying that this is golden or that this is the right way, but you also got to consider that nobody's way is the only way. Everybody's only can
facts.
give you whatever their perspective is, and then you just have to figure out how to either apply it or ignore it. You can't consider everything as that's the only way to
The
do it.
gospel, everything ain't the
Yeah,
gospel.
or you just take it. I'm a fan of taking. I take advice from whomever I'm around because I like for me personally, I seek validation, right? In certain ways. So I'm more of a I'll explain the situation or talk to somebody about a certain situation, get their opinion on it, and then I'll sit with them myself and kind of process what they said. And like, hear their perspective from like some cause I'm a big person. If you tell me something I don't like, I hear you, but fuck you right now. Like I got to like I don't like it, and I know you telling me because you love me, but at the end of the day, I gotta sit with myself and really be like, yo, she's right, or he was right. Say it
Right.
to you. He said it to you with because some people say stuff to you, and like it's because they love you, like they're not being malicious. It's because sometimes we need to hear. Sometimes we do need to hear some stuff, right? And we take it in and this and like not like to Heinz's point, you don't got to go get active with it, but you could take it in, process it, think your own thoughts, and then if if you really agree with that person, cool. If you have a difference of opinions, it's okay too. You're allowed to have your own thoughts. You're allowed to process it in the manner in which you process it, hopefully in a healthy manner and not a toxic way. But then you work on changing. I feel like you can't change a person; they have to change themselves. And you can talk to a person about whatever they're going through, or give advice, or whatever it is they're seeking from you, and they have to decide what works for them at the end of the day. And it is it's whatever their decision is, up to them. Sometimes people gotta learn through trial and error. And
Yeah.
what
The other
works
thing.
don't
I got a
work for
question.
everybody.
Yeah, but the other thing too, I think we do have to consider is to not be dismissive of good, solid guidance from people who really know you and that are giving you advice from a place of being real, like being real with
That
who
part.
you are. That'll say, hey, I know that you're this kind of person. You should consider your partner in this way because I know that you either fall short here or do this more or do this better or whatever the case may be, because they know you and your partner, or they know how you operate, and can give you kind of that constructive criticism, I guess is what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say. Definitely don't be dismissive of constructive criticism. Definitely don't be dismissive of that outside looking in viewpoint either, because I
Yeah.
think sometimes people, they dismiss, some people's advice or some people's perspective, because they'll be like, oh well, I'm not seeing it that way, and it's like, well, maybe it's because you're in the middle of it. I
Yeah.
can't remember the quote, but it's like basically like when you're in the middle of a hurricane, you can't tell what's happening around you because you're in the eye of it, and it's more calm in the middle of that storm. But when people are on the outside, they can tell you like shit's fucked up, So you
Yeah.
need to realize that this is happening and this is happening. You're not juggling these things properly. You may need to consider this, that, and the third. So
Yeah, no, that definitely
Also,
makes sense.
got a
That's why I say you got to take that, like,
this is
because
the thing that I always
like
do.
we said it before, you know who you're talking to. You know who really love you and who telling you about yourself and telling you what you need to do, whether you like it or not. That's why I said my friends, the circle I keep, they tell me, and like they know me. I start Taurus and I don't want to hear it, but I know I need to hear it. So it's like right in that moment, I'm like, but then I'll come back like, yeah, I sat with what you
Th-
said to me. You're
This is
right.
the problem. This is the problem with that advice though that you're getting is which the key the words that you're using is they're giving you the best advice for you when this is no longer a you situation, it's a us situation. They can't give you the best advice for you because that's no longer your situation. Your situation is now to move for us. So this is the problem when you bring in my cousin and your cousin. If I'm calling Willie to always tell him about, yeah, man, Sonny went through this, and you calling cousin all the time saying, yeah, man, I ain't going through that. She's only giving you, like you said, the advice to, well, this is how you always handled it. It can't be how I always took care of these situations. Willie can't be telling me about how I was handling things when 6 years ago or so,
Yeah.
because now our situation is different. Now our
well, I
perspective
mean,
has to
some
be different. Now that don't happen overnight. It
yeah.
happens gradually as you get into them situations. But you can't run with everything. One of those things I try to do is always look at it and say, what is my wife like? How could she be looking at this? This is why I
Mhm.
got different women that I talk to and say, throw different scenarios out there at you and just what do you hear when this is the conversation without telling you, all right, this was verbatim what she said and this is how she said it and then I said this, because then you're already messing up this person's advice because they're already picking a side because you're giving them your side. Like, so whether it be her folks or your folks, they already like kind of come in with a preconceived notion. And
Yeah, I mean, I think part of that is considering where the advice is coming from, considering the intent of the advice, but also I guess it's discernment, right? There's a level of discernment that comes with that, being able to determine if it's good advice because it applies to how you are right now or what you're doing versus, and like you say, if it's going to actually be beneficial to the relationship. I mean, like I've given advice to friends of mine, about things that they were either doing or the way that they were approaching something, because I saw that there was benefit to that advice to them for their relationship. It was for them and in what they were going to be doing in the relationship, but still it's beneficial to the relationship. So advice can come in that form to that one single person, but with the perspective or with the intent of improving them for their relationship.
Yeah, because
But I
sometimes
definitely
I
get your
got
point in terms of like it's there's some advice that may be centered on that person that may have nothing to do with the relationship, and I get that, but I think sometimes the intent can be there. Like I told a buddy of mine one time, like, dog, you're doing this, and your wife is expecting you to do X, Y, Z. Have you considered her or her feelings or her perspective in this? Have you considered what she's expecting from you? Have you considered how she's expecting you to show up? So my intent in that advice was centered on him and what he was going to do, but it was the intent of it was to improve his relationship with his spouse or his girlfriend.
yeah,
I got this is one thing too, like this topic it's always tell people the words are important. Like I said from the Brit with the mistake situation. Like we gotta what's a mistake? A mistake is I'm going to pick up the pictures and they say like my name is Willie Styles and I picked up William Styles' pictures. That's a mistake. A
Mhm.
mistake is not I got a DM from a girl 8 months ago. We've been DMing back and forth for 8 months, met at the bar, set for appetizers, now ended up at her crib. This is not a mistake,
Right,
okay?
right,
Like,
right. That's bad intentions on top of bad
it's,
yeah,
intentions.
that's a series of bad choices. But continue.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a series of bad choices. Like, that's not a
right.
mistake. A mistake was you picked up the wrong thing. A mistake was, oh, damn, my bad. I didn't know that this wasn't, you text somebody, oh, no, this ain't his number no more. That's a mistake.
Mhm. Right.
Like, a mistake is not you been in a long term flirting with this girl for 3 years and now you hit, or you've been flirting with this dude and you know he married and now you trying to like that's not a mistake. We got to stop saying that this is a
Mhm.
mistake or oh I had one little slip up. It's not a little slip up because again look at it from the other person's perspective. This is how I get myself out of these situations because it'd be like if I seen her doing this, how would I feel about that?
Right.
And I don't want to put her in a situation where things can be misconstrued. Because if you put, I don't want you putting me in a misconstrued situation. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
people don't ever just look at it like that.
And I do want to clarify one thing because I don't think I got to that part of the video that I was watching with Conceited and what he was saying. But the part Hype is talking about, for those who were here earlier that heard what I was saying about the video, Conceited not only was saying how the divorce thing was the
That was
fear,
Hitman,
but
Hitman,
he was
Hitman,
also saying how.
Hitman, not conceited. That was Hitman Holla.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I thought that was Conceited.
Because
Okay.
I'm about to say, did I watch the wrong video?
Yeah, no. Yeah. Hitman. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't know. Well, they always go together. Maybe that's why I always get them mixed up. But anyway, so yeah, so Hitman was saying how he felt like the man, because I think he squarely put it on like the man could make one tiny little mistake and then the woman could just be like, divorce. I want half, and then he was like, well, a woman can make a bunch of mistakes, and the man just stuck because he don't want to lose his stuff, so he's going to sit there and just deal with it. Or even
You
if
can't
he
say that when
or
Mary J is in the
even if he
situation.
does push a divorce, he's now risking losing his assets or losing his financial stability. And like you said, to your point, Hype, the mistakes we're talking about usually, I mean, everybody's different, men, women, and everybody. Somebody could say, you know what, this mistake was just enough to break the camel's back, whatever the case may be. But the mistakes that he was probably talking about, like you're pointing out, are probably bigger mistakes mistakes, quote unquote mistakes that are relationship ending and that are problems. It's problematic. It's bad choices. It's definitely not mistakes. It's definitely not an accident. You didn't accidentally fall into this random coochie. You definitely made some poor choices that got you there. And if your wife decided that was enough is enough on that point, then that's it. But I don't think that everybody is operating off of that. I know some people who will say, you know what, I gave this person chance after chance, mistake after mistake, talk to them, whatever the case may be, and now we're here.
Yeah, niggas be out here having kids. Niggas be out here having kids and stuff though. Like
that part, that's the part, and you call that a mistake. It's like you mistakenly got caught because this baby's now in the picture. That's why you got caught. Like even if I didn't catch you at the beginning of it, you're caught now. So now you got this baby that came about. Like, come on. Like you said, it's not a mistake, it's a series of bad choices, and now you done messed it up. And and that's the thing. Like I look at it like what Haim said. Don't do to me what you don't want me to do you, because if I'm your wife and we've been married for 2 or 5 years and we going through something and I end up with a baby, you not staying.
Right.
Like, let's keep it a buck. Y'all dudes ain't staying.
Real talk.
Y'all been there, had a whole baby, had a whole relationship, whole other marriage or whatever it is, and they come back and like, why you leaving me?
Right.
What are you talking about?
We got a comment down here that says, for the lady on the panel, you said you would like to get married, but could you date then marry someone who makes less money than you? Is love first or second in that relationship?
Well, not to be a butt munch, but a lot of people that I do date don't make more money than me. So it's definitely not, money is not something that entices me. I could have dated dudes that was trying to throw money at me forever, and it's just like, I'm good. I'm not a materialistic person. So I've been through the storm and got out of it. So I'm where I am because of the serious choices of where I had to be to get to where I am. So I had no money and now I make some money. So I'm happy. I'm comfortable where I am. So I don't necessarily need a guy to make more money than me. I like him to be responsible with his money. Make sure he has priorities straight. But for me, as far as I guess it's love or second or a relationship. I don't know. Like, I don't know how that question is being asked. Like, is love first or second in relationship? Is that what they're asking?
So if you getting married and the first thing we thinking about is money, then we getting married for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I wouldn't get married because of money, because I'm not. That's not like, I don't want a big wedding. I don't want the big to do. I don't want all that stuff. I'm not paying money to have people I don't really talk to come do anything. So I don't really care about money. I would like you to make money. I don't want you to be homeless while I'm dating you. I like you to have some type of income, and have some type of ambition. But no, love is definitely first for me to get married. Definitely. I'm getting married because I actually love you and I want to wake up with you every day and listen to your light snores and all that stuff and deal with you.
Right.
This is the same joint that I told y'all like before. I got engaged in March and married in July, because the part that matters when people was like, well, why y'all rushing? It's like, we're not rushing. We've had all these conversations. We've been dealing with each other for enough time that we're at the point where it's like, let's spend the rest of forever together. All that matters is, are we together years from now? Do we love each other? We're willing to sacrifice for each other. Like Sonny talking about, is we willing to weather that storm for each other? That's the thing that matters. That's what you get married to somebody for. That's what you say, I want to be with you and only you for the rest of forever. Now, I mean, Islamically, as a Muslim myself, you can have more than one wife. I don't, because I don't think that's what's going to work for me. But like, this is what you were signing up for. It wasn't like, well, no, she only work, like she make 300 less than me a month or 300 more than me a month.
Yeah.
If y'all get married and these are the type of, we picking and choosing, we keeping score on who's doing what.
Yeah.
We have a problem already.
Because I don't really care. I know, and I lied. I misspoke. I'm not gonna say I lied. I misspoke. I had to think about it. I did date two people that did make more money than me, and they didn't make me feel like I was,
you gold digging son of.
I was like anything like that,
right?
Because I was working. They just made more than me, and the one guy I lived with him and we was engaged. So we, I didn't pay rent, but I paid other things. So like we worked that relationship out for us, and it worked for us. So I'm a big person. If as long as it works for us, we're good. As long as I'm not coming home from a
Let
hard
me
day of work and you sitting there playing PlayStation all day, we're good.
let me throw this
So,
disclaimer in there
so
though,
if
because hold on, can I please throw in this disclaimer? I
yeah,
was not saying that we should 50-50 these bills or anything
Yeah,
like
I ain't
that.
saying that either. Yeah.
I do not believe that you should know what the mortgage looks like or when it's due. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
I
I
don't
have
think
my
that's
own
something you
mortgage.
should.
See
I
that see
mean,
that's
copy
where it
that.
differs
Hey,
because
Willie, Sonny just gonna keep telling us the first round of drinks is on her, huh? She
no,
got
I'm
the
not
first
saying
round. She
no,
got the
I'm not
mortgage.
saying that, but
All
like
I'm saying that's what I'm hearing.
I'm
Willie, first
actually
round is on Sonny.
no,
right,
but I'm
right,
actually dating somebody and we did talk about those types of things. And at the end of the day, we actually had a conversation about like living arrangements at some point. Like, if this we make it to this, if we decide that we want to move in together, like what that looks like, because I own, you rent. So like what does that look like
So this
going
is a
forward? And I
no-brainer.
know where he's at as far as coming into essentially my space because I own, so it will make sense for you to come this way. But like how he feels about that and long term what that looks like, potentially going to get something together type of thing.
I was copy because that's what I was going to say. All
But
right, so
that's
if
where,
we
yeah,
talking,
because he's used to being, he's very much old school. He's the man, it's a provider.
Mhm.
copy.
So it's like, hey, I can't come come to your house. Like, y'all want to come here? I'm like, well, I own. Like, why am I going to leave my space and come pay rent? I got
Nah.
mortgage over here. So we
So
talked
like, yeah,
about that as a short term. Like, okay, you come this way short term, and then we can go get something for us. So like I recently had these conversations, and like we're both on the level of playing fields where we both make around the same amount, so we're comfortable with that as far as but like we had these conversations recently. So it was funny when this Willie had hit this topic, because I'm like, y'all just had this conversation and everything. We talked about long term, because like I'm 40, so he's a couple years older than me, so we're talking like right now we're talking about like future shit. So it ain't no, we ain't getting young, so what does the future look like?
Well, yeah,
well,
and
shout
that's
out to y'all for having that conversation because it's important.
Yeah.
yeah,
Definitely move. I would definitely say go to your house where you own for a short term period, but definitely, yeah, y'all buy something together because
Yeah,
again,
that's
that's y'all
exactly what
building
exactly what it
together.
was. And I understood him, because I'm like most people will feel a way about that, but like I understood, because like I said, I was homeless because I lived with other people, and I was
Mhm.
made you can get out even after I paid rent and mortgage. So, and I told him I don't think I ever would put somebody in that situation. Even if we decided that we weren't going to work anymore, I wouldn't just throw you out, because I've been there. So
Mhm.
even if we don't work, like God forbid that happens, even if we don't work, I would never just throw you out, because I've been there. That's a fucked up place to be, to kind of figure out where you're gonna go, and you left everything to go be with that person. So we talked about it for like a 2-year period. We'll stay here, and then we'll go and look for our something for us.
Right, right. I mean, my thing is having those conversations up front, especially when you're going to uh, entertain a long term relationship or even a marriage. It's critical to have a lot of these conversations, because you definitely want to understand where the other person stands on these things, what the outlook and outcomes are going to be when it comes to where you're going to be living. How are you going to balance finances? What are going to be the rules of the home? What are going to be the way that you raise your children? How are you going to interact with others in the families? There's a lot of different things, a lot of different parts and pieces to a relationship that a lot of people don't consider. They live in that either that lustful stage for a long time, or that playful stage, or even
Love
just a
and lust
surface level
stage.
stage where they don't realize that there's more to a relationship than just, it's just not cut and dry. It's just not cut and
Yeah,
dry.
that's when I
Um,
cracked up, because he definitely is the guy's guy. Like, I'm not staying with you. I'm not moving in your house. I said,
yeah, I mean, the question that the comment was bringing up in terms of, is love first or second in relationship, and the whole discussion about the finances definitely brings up this thing to me of, what's most important in a relationship, or actually, really, I should have said in a marriage. Is it love or is it finances? And I say and I'm asking this question because I'm looking at it from the standpoint of there's definitely a lot of people, not just men, even women, that will cite either financial shortcomings,
Yeah.
financial instability, things like that as a reason to not progress a relationship or to not, get into a marriage. What do you think is the best way to approach those types of things, or do you think that's even an issue that should be considered in terms of pushing forward with a long-term relationship or into a marriage?
Everything is an issue that should be considered. Everything needs to be talked about. Now, obviously, life is gonna throw some curveballs at you. You're gonna get a phone call where you never expected this to happen or that to happen. One of y'all can get hurt. One of the kids can get hurt. You just never know. So you got to prepare yourself for what you can prepare yourself for. But every conversation is important. If she's better at managing the money than if he's better, 'cause everybody always just like I give my girl the money and she handle the bills. If
Hmm.
he's better at managing the money, give him the money to manage it. Like, let's not just do something just because that's what the way somebody else did it. Again, we gotten back to well, my grandma raised me and she always took care of the bills. My grandpapa ain't never do none of that. But you ain't your grandma. Like
Yeah.
you don't know how to manage this checkbook like that. You don't even have a checkbook. Like you don't have a savings account. You don't have anything saved. Like you don't have plans for a rainy day. You don't have plans for a flat tire or a hot water
Hmm.
heater. But everything is a thing that we need to talk about. Love is the most important thing for you to have a marriage. Now, finances go with everything because if we don't have as
Yeah.
much money as we need to take care of everything, obviously the first third person that you're turning on is that person that's laying next to you in the bed.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm. Right,
because
right.
they're the one that's laying next to you because it's like, man, we can't keep the lights on or we can't do this or we can't do that. But like Sonny said again, you gotta weather that storm. This is not easy. Marriage ain't easy. Relationships ain't easy. Relationships
Yeah.
are cool because you can ultimately just walk away. Now you might be hurt. The easiest thing for somebody to tell you to do is like, "Oh, well, you should leave her." It's easy for me to say that because I don't got 12 years and two kids invested into her or like
Right.
I don't have a car invested, I don't have my life invested in it, I didn't waste all my 30s into her. Like so the easiest thing for somebody to tell you is just to walk away from it. But y'all gotta be and talked about those things and been honest about them things. 'Cause a lot of people didn't talk about them and just lied the whole way through it. Oh no,
Right.
I got the
Yeah.
house over
I
here,
feel
I'm
like
working on that drawing, I'm gonna show you it once I get it done. And that nigga ain't never had nothing over there, he didn't even live that part of town.
I feel like you should be talking. I just feel like not to say that this is what you meant. I don't think those conversations should those love and marriage and love and finances should have been talked about while y'all were dating. Like
Mm-hmm.
because like I said, I've been homeless. I've been homeless.
Mhm.
I ain't trying to be there. I was homeless in the shelter, homeless on people's couches. I don't want to be homeless anymore. This is why this is why I moved the way I moved. So at the end of the day, it's like if you're my partner in life, we should be having these conversations before we even talk about marriage because people pay astronomical amount. And it's funny because we just had this conversation about how people pay all this money for weddings. I ain't even trying to do all that. Like I'm
Mhm.
like legit. Like, oh, if I do have a wedding, when I tell you it's gonna be small, I don't even like people like that. It's gonna be real small. Like I'd rather have a big reception and just have like a party or something type of vibe, and where it's not even catered
Hey
food.
girl,
People that I know that cook the
them
food because I
cousins
know it's
add
gonna be
up
good and I'm
quick,
gonna have a
girl.
good time. Um,
Right.
but like I'm that person. It's not even being cheap. It's just like I feel like it's stuff that you just don't need to spend money on. Like I'd rather spend money on things that are more important that's gonna put us where we need to be as far as in life. So for me, finances we're talking about while we're dating because I need to know like I don't need to know all your financial history. I don't need to know your bank accounts or anything like that. If you want to tell me, feel free. But like I'm not that hard pressed for it, right? But I do. I'm looking for how you pay your bills. I'm looking for how responsible you are with prioritizing
Oh yeah,
because we're
I'm
having
watching
those
how you
conversations,
move.
huh?
I'm watching how you move. I'm watching how you
Yeah,
handle these situations. Long before I know what size the ring is, you got to be paying attention to this type shit. If it's like
yeah, because
this
I
Mhm.
nigga
don't want
talking
to
about,
be
yeah, I gotta come up with $500 by tomorrow. What's up? Well, why you gotta do that? Then you go
that
to work
part.
every
Like I
day.
need to know how you manage your money because we're gonna have a conversation. I was homeless. I can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Done it
No, I
already.
feel you. I feel
I don't
you.
want to do that again. So as long as we're not like and it's the type of person you're dating. If you know somebody that's always going through something and always about to get evicted, I'm probably not gonna keep that. I'm probably not gonna keep dating you because you don't got something's
Copy.
missing. You're not grasping because I'm a big person of like if you have like I'm the type of friend I am is if we're cool and I know what you're trying to do with yourself, any way that I can help, I'm going to help you, right? So if you're
Mhm.
going through certain things, I'm like, oh, you tell me, I'm like, oh, well, this, that, and third, let's do this. Like I'm in the process of trying to help you better yourself, friend, loved one, or especially somebody I'm with. If you're going through a hard time, I'm gonna, not necessarily financially help you. Like I'll be there, but at the end of the day, like I'm gonna help you get on your feet. But it's
Mhm.
helping you help yourself, not me solely helping you. Because if you don't want it for yourself, why am I even being bothered?
I can't care
So
more about your problem than you do.
that part.
And you do
So,
exactly. Yep,
and
exactly.
I'm that kind of person. So if I see you struggling and you need help and we're talking and I love you, oh no, I'm trying to make sure you get to where you need to be in life. Like the goal of us being together, for anybody that I'm with, is to help us better each other. I'm not about to watch you struggle the same way I wouldn't want you watching me struggle. So I understand that life be life, and sometimes you can't help that life happens to people. But it's a character, the person that you are, that if you're going to be there and watch them, or you're going to help them help themselves and stuff. So if I see you trying to do what you got to do, yeah, if I can step in and do a little bit to help you get where you need to be, or kind of assist you along the way and get you where you need to be, because I want you to be stable. Because if we're going to be together, I need to be stable. But I'm not going
Right.
to help you if you don't want to help yourself. But I'm definitely there to be
If
there.
you unstable and we're together, then we're unstable.
That
Yeah,
part.
but we're
I
unstable
can't
together.
I
Exactly.
can't balance us together if you keep fucking up the situation.
Yeah.
Like
And sometimes it's not even a person. It just be like, because especially with men, the job market, depending on what type of job market you're in, you could be up one minute and gone the next.
Yep,
So
exactly.
like you could be booming for a little minute, especially with entrepreneurship. It's up and down
you
depending on
mean
what your
like this
business is.
concert life.
Yeah, and if you really solely depending on your lifestyle being this income, and the income start to get cut, life is life, and it's not your
Yeah.
choices. But at the end of the day, you know
I
it's cutting.
mean,
How
yeah.
long how long are you gonna sit in that situation and wallow in it? Or you gonna fix it? That's the type of person I want. I'm fixing
Well,
it.
yeah, and that's the thing. You definitely have to have either a backup plan, or you got to
Yeah,
have this something well established that, hey, we're gonna take a step back at this point. We're gonna establish savings or nest eggs or whatever the case may be, so that way we have so many weeks, hopefully months of time to get things together. And then if things aren't together by this amount of time, we need to enact plan B, plan C, plan D, and get this thing together, get back on track. But it does take conversations. It does take communication. It does take, understanding who you're with and who you're partnered with, because other than that, you're just going to be like you said, Hank, I'm bad, I'm down bad, you down bad, we both down bad at the same time.
This is another joint though, bro. Some niggas ain't got no plan. Some niggas plan is Friday when this check hit, I'ma go do ... Like that's not a
Hmm.
plan. If
Right,
something happens, from time to time, niggas got direct deposit. All right, whatever happened with the bank, the check ain't gonna land on Friday, it's gonna land on Monday. And if that's gonna fuck up your entire life, your plan is not good.
right,
The check was
right,
supposed to land Thursday, that joint ain't land. It's like, damn, I didn't need it to do this, that, or whatever, but I'm still cool, right? Because I
yeah,
wasn't solely dependent on this whatever coming through. And some people do not have a plan. They've never seen a plan, but they never knew nothing about how their life
right.
was going to work out because nobody ever had that conversation with them. But this is why
yeah,
y'all gotta have those conversations to see. And like I said, you just pay attention when you in those courting stages of dealing with somebody. Is how do they move? How do they handle their stuff? If you gonna have a flat tire or something. Something's gonna happen from time to time, and you can tell me, yo, look, damn, this got messed up. All right, I can help you with that. That doesn't happen
Right.
3 times a month. Right? You can't come 3 times a month with the story about woe is me and this happened.
yeah. Chris, I don't like that statement. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how they feel about it, but I'm not feeling it. And I love you, but I'm not feeling that statement, because I feel like commitment is marriage. Like you're committed to who you're married to. So how can you not fear one but fear the other?
No, I definitely get it, because I think it's not a jump to immediately to that step type of thing. I think he's talking about from the standpoint of he had a fear of even getting to the first step of calling somebody his girlfriend, or getting involved with someone so much that they weren't a relationship enough to be able to say that we're going to work towards marriage. He didn't even get to this first. He didn't get to step one yet.
Oh, okay,
That's what
okay.
he's
Now
saying.
it makes
You can't even fear marriage when you can't even get to step one and say, "Hey, I don't even feel comfortable being in a committed relationship. I got to be out here still playing the field. I got to still be out here, doing what it do." So I definitely think I think that's a legitimate fear that some people have because they know either that they're not going to be successful because they cheat or because they just don't want to be in that one man, one woman situation. I know that there's things out there where people are like, hey, every time I see somebody in a relationship, they seem miserable. I don't want to be miserable. I love being single, so that's what they want to do. So there's a lot of different reasons why people will
sense.
fear.
Well, that makes sense. I'm sorry. I was taking it from
When people
the
be
marriage
saying,
part of
when
Right,
people be
fully
saying
on
that
marriage,
too,
not
it's
even
like
thinking about the pre-game to the marriage.
right.
Copy.
when people be saying like, oh man, people be miserable. That's just that person in that relationship that's miserable. That don't mean everybody in a relationship is miserable. Some people are just fucking. Some people are happy. Like it's cool to be happy. And most niggas don't know people who are just happy and happy to be in their situation, glad that they got each other. But like, it's cool to have all the freedom in the world until now your ass is in the hospital and your cousin who's married and got kids ain't got time to come up here and come see your ass every day. I got the first phone call and heard about, damn, cuz you good. I came up to see you, nigga. I ain't gonna be able to make it till next Wednesday though, because I got shit to do. I got
Yeah.
project, I got school homework to do, I got dinner to cook, I got a whole other person again to consider that I can't be
Right.
sitting up here with your ass because you wanted to be young, wild, and free, whole goddamn.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I think a lot of people have their what they consider reasons, but I also think that some people have their excuses. Like I've been watching when Sonny brought up ultimatums. I've been watching the Ultimatum show, and as well as a couple other shows that where people are either you know trying to get married or trying to find love and jump into marriages and things like that. One of the things that comes up a lot in the ultimatum is men who say that they don't feel financially stable enough to be in a marriage. There's sometimes situations where they feel like they're just not ready. What that means to them, who knows, right? It could be not ready emotionally, not ready from healing from other traumas, not ready, for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that some people have what they consider are, and when I say reasons that I think are excuses or things that are fixable, you know what I'm saying? Things that are either fixable or not important. You know, not being financially ready, it can be a legitimate reason, but then when you're out partying, you're not saving, you're not creating a financial plan, things that are fixable in your financial situation, then it's just an excuse at that point.
I can understand if you ain't ready. If you're not ready, then don't do it. Because if you ain't ready and you do it, then you just square peg round hole. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You have to be at a
Mhm.
point where you say, "All right, this is what I want to do." And if you never get to that point, then you should never do it.
Yeah.
Like it's just the
Right,
bottom
right.
line. Don't do it because like, oh damn, my two homies just got married. Everybody
Yeah.
around me getting married. I want to have somebody. I want to take these pictures. I want to post this shit on Instagram. Like, please don't be getting married for these dumbass reasons that people be getting married for.
That part, or just
Mhm.
that's why I said I don't want to. There's a lot of people that get married because it just makes sense. I've been with you forever. Now I don't want that either. Like we're not gonna be together forever for you not to not be. If I
Yeah,
really,
because like if I know you're just not the type of girl that I ultimately want my kids to be with, he's not the type of
Mm.
guy. Like you know he's beating you the fuck up. You know you don't want to have this be the example your son is getting or your daughter is getting.
Mhm.
You don't
Right,
need to marry this person just because, like you said, we've had the convenience of being together for all these years. We
yeah,
gotta you gotta get because when you get married, you're gonna be uncomfortable because you're now gonna again have to think about another person. You're not gonna be
right.
able to just say, "Well, I only like this kind of toilet paper," but this your spouse is allergic to that shit. She can't use that. You can't
Right.
just say, "Well, we using this just because this is what I grew up on." No, nigga, you have
Mhm.
to compromise. The whole situation is about compromise. Most niggas don't want to compromise.
No,
Yeah.
real talk, real talk. Chris says, I love being married and taking care of a family, but just never trusted women enough to put 100% trust in her. Said he used to think like that, but not anymore. But that's an important thing too. I think that sometimes people get scorned or they have situations come up in previous relationships and they allow that to you know roll over into the next relationship or roll over into their standard way of thinking. And I mean, I think a lot of us could go through that, men and women, where our trust in the opposite sex and our trust in scenarios and situations where we're like, hey, I put my all into this and this other person took advantage of that. I think a lot of us can definitely say that we have been in a situation that we can say, I don't want to go through that anymore. So now I'm just avoiding it altogether.
That
Chris said he
absolutely
was never
happens,
he was
but
never scorned. But
I
I
think
mean,
we
Chris,
all
what I'm
do
saying
like
is
a
that if
little bit.
no,
there
for
was a
what you
reason
said,
that you
bro.
felt like you can't trust a woman. I'm sure it had something stemming from an experience or from something that you saw in women in general, or something
I
or
say something.
some situation that you observed, even if it wasn't personal.
Cannot. So I feel like so, and I'm gonna say this, and it might piss off some people, but I just feel like because I've seen it enough and I've said it to a couple of people the guys that I do know, I feel like some of their past trauma or their lack of trust in women ain't got nothing to do with the woman they dated. It got everything to do with their mom.
Mm, yeah.
Like y'all don't watch your mom do some stuff,
Yep.
and y'all hurt because your mother has done something that you don't like, and now every woman has to pay for something your mom did, not necessarily you. Could have cheated on your dad, could have did some foul stuff that you thought was foul, whatever the case may be. And a lot of them experience that because I've talked to some guys, and I know one of my good guy friends, he went through some stuff, and I know he like through his childhood with his mom, like witnessing mom do stuff, and the way he and then and the way the stuff that he has witnessed as a child, you would think that somebody that he dated hurt him. Like,
Yep.
and it's like I feel like with those type of situations, you need to go to therapy because you're blaming these women that you're dating on stuff your mom. You watch your mom, not necessarily you watch your mom do. You didn't have to watch her do it. You knew that she was doing it,
All
right?
right, I got
Right.
something
Right.
for this
It
because
don't gotta do it, but for this person in particular, watch his mom do like his mom was a little
Oh yeah, I've
much.
definitely had people
wait,
tell me that what was guiding their viewpoint on relationships was their parents. The guy says his dad cheated all the time. He feels like he's going to cheat. I've heard men say that they seen their mother cheat, so they feel like all women cheat. I've seen women say my mother, always got what ain't shit men. I'm gonna end up with ain't shit men. It's definitely a lot of people out there who allow their parents' experience to guide their viewpoint.
Yeah. They
all
be
right.
hurt. It's like
See,
go to therapy because you got to figure it out. Like,
I mean, even Chris is saying that he watched other people's relationships. He could be talking about friends. He could be talking about family. He could be, but that's still allowing somebody else's relationships. It may not be his parents, because I know his mom was definitely faithful. His dad is a good man, but
yeah,
he watched somebody close enough to him have a bad relationship, and he said, "You know what? I don't
I'm
want
good.
that."
Yeah.
And
so
now
let
I
me.
feel like everybody's on this bullshit that's gonna come in my path, so I don't even want to deal with it.
Or some of y'all,
All
like I
right,
said,
so
like it's
can I
with
get in?
them.
Can I get in here?
Oh, go ahead.
Because y'all know me, I was lifelong bachelor. Never was in a relationship till I got married. My mom and my dad was married since like 19. They've been together since like 1970 something. So my dad passed. I never saw them have one argument. So my experience though was all my friends was older than me. So being the youngest one, paying attention to everybody's relationships and this kind of girl and that kind of girl and like these are the type of girls that's always around. That's what like my views on relationships was. It was just like, yeah, I don't, again, like Chris was saying, me trusting somebody, like, I don't know, this is not happening. Just because of the type of girls that I saw having nothing to do with my mom, because my mom and my dad was together, like I said, forever. Somebody sent my dad a picture upstate of my mom and said, you want to know what your wife been doing since you've been locked up? My dad did like 9.5 years, I think. He said he held this envelope for a couple months. And he finally opened it. It's a picture of my mom biting her nails. Like, so my mom wasn't that type joint out there, young, wild, and free. But yeah, my relationship view got jaded from just like the block, and like all my friends just like, she told you the baby was yours and it wasn't. She had a baby
Yeah,
by you,
that
and then did your man and had a baby by him too. Like,
Right.
those were the situations that like jaded me on being in a
yeah, those
relationship. Because when I was young, it was like I told you, like I was brutally like, that ain't ever been the situation. Like,
Right,
I'm
right. Yeah,
cool.
Chris
Like,
Chris said I've watched some of the so-called hardest guys get their heads twisted and basically saying like they either I'm assuming he's talking about they either got really hurt or they
yeah,
got physically really hurt or
yeah,
or they just went through the
I
heartbreak
understand
of
that.
just the shit that they
it's
go through.
also
Yeah,
it's also
I
so
watch,
hard
I
for a
got guy
man to
friends
get
that
to
go
a
through
point.
stuff and they still stay. And I'm like, y'all, if that was me, y'all be telling me to get out. Like y'all over here standing. And now this girl Keisha you've been with for 6 years, she done cheat on you the worst way, brought dudes home, everything, and you still there. And now after Keisha left, all bitches ain't shit. No, Keisha wasn't shit. She ain't been
Right.
Keisha
for
was what?
6 years.
Hey,
You was stuck
Sonny,
beside her.
Keisha was whistling in his ass, and he didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
So we got a comment from is that Jay?
yeah,
Yeah, Jay says, boom, currently dating a man that's working on childhood trauma due to his relationship with his mother. But at some point, when does this become an excuse or make the relationship stall? And Chris says, most men won't acknowledge their pain.
that
Yeah,
part.
I definitely feel like, it
It's
becomes an excuse because you're allowing other people's situation. We just said that earlier in the show, how you can't let other people's experiences guide you, them telling you, oh, this is what I did in my relationship. You can't let that be the only way you do things. But on the flip of that, or on the side of that, you can't allow what other people have gone through be the only thing you think will happen to you in your relationship. You can't
yeah,
allow that to make you fear what the next steps can be in the relationship. Because, like Jay said, it can stall the relationship. It can cause the relationship to get not only stale, but to be detrimented to the point of failure.
yeah. That's
And you're allowing that other person's failure to become your failure. Like, why take that on?
Yeah, and I feel like at that point, like it's an offer of either like I would suggest to him,
What
like
up, David?
I'm therapy is a place to go, right? Go
Mm.
there, get your help, get to work through it. Because one thing for certain for me, I'm not apologizing for shit your mom did. I ain't your mom. I'm my own person. I haven't put you, and not even that person's mom. I ain't no girl you dated. I am exactly who I'm supposed to be. I'm not apologizing for nothing that no other person did that was not myself. So
Yeah, I can't fix the mistakes that some niggas
yeah, I
made,
can't
and I
fix them.
want
Yeah.
And
nobody.
that's
Like,
I'll tell you, like I'll show you who I am. You get to see me as I am, and you're gonna love me or you're not gonna love me, and it's cool. I might not be the person for you. And I think a lot of us women get stuck on trying to prove that we ain't shit or that we're worthy of being trusted. And it's like, and like they when I think it's funny or it's a catch-22 when they say that women are bitter. It's a lot of bitter men too. But at the end of
Mhm.
the day, this is where the fear comes in because you've been so hurt. And that's why I said I can if I wrote a book about the stuff I went through relationships with men, y'all the fact that I said I still hope to get married at 40 or the fact I'm in a relationship
Still
now,
be shocked.
nobody in fact I'm with somebody now and it's like what? Yeah, because I done been through some shit. If I explain it, like people look at me like, girl, and yes, I done been through some stuff. And at the end of the day, it never made me feel. I never got to the point where I feel like all niggas ain't shit. I never felt that way. I've been through
Right.
some stuff. I just was picking ain't shit niggas, like,
Yeah,
or I
Chris.
was
I don't know
attracting
what
ain't
it.
shit
I
niggas,
don't
and
know
I
what
was
it
like,
is
oh,
about your pussy that keeps attracting ain't shit
yeah,
niggas.
because I was just because I was just and it's what we put out. So it's our like if you're in a broken place, because for a while I was in a broken place, and I was attracting people that were attracted to a broken female. Now you got to
Mhm.
get that off, because I like self love is important. Getting to
Yeah.
where
we all.
you need to be in yourself is especially when you've been broken and you realize that like how broken you were. Like it was at one point I was saying I didn't even trust my own heart to protect me
That's
from myself. Like
Yeah,
that's it though,
that's what.
Sonny. Everybody
you
don't
have to do the
recognize that
work
they
to
be
love
broken.
yourself, to understand that what you deserve is what you deserve. I'm not settling on shit. I like the dude I'm with now. I told him, I said, listen, whatever shit you want, if I think I'm good, I ain't even about to question you. I ain't arguing. I did that. I done been in relationships. I done argue, made them want to see my worth. You don't see it, and you want to entertain other people. Carte blanche. Go do what you want to do. I'm just not gonna participate. I'm good. Like I'm 40. I don't got time for that. I really don't.
Just like
We're
you
not
just said
41,
right
but
there. Just what you just said right there. Happy birthday. Um, most people do not recognize that they are broken. Most
yeah,
people do not recognize, like Willie was saying this. I was trying to jump in with that one earlier and I lost it, but way to bring me back, Sonny.
got you.
Most people don't be recognizing because they don't make a strong evaluation. Like that's how I think Chris just said that in the comments. Like seeing so many niggas get hurt, it takes so much for a man to say like, "All right, I'm gonna be with you," and then for a girl to break that trust, it kind of fucks you up for a very. It would have to have fucked you up for a long time because it took so much for you to get there. But you got to recognize when you get into the next situation, or like you said, whether it was your mom could have been toxic, your aunt, your dad, whoever the fuck raised you could have been a toxic individual, but it takes a lot for you to recognize that you are now that toxic individual, and that you
Right.
got to do some work on yourself to attract the type of girl that you want to, the type of woman that you want to be with, if you even want to be with anybody, or the type
Yeah,
of man you want to be with. But we can't just jump like I can't be, like you could have those people who like I can't be by myself type. So now you end up in another bad situation. You end up in a third or fourth or fifth bad situation, and then now you done had 2 kids, and now you done had 3 kids. Now you like, well, fuck it, I gotta marry this nigga because who the fuck is gonna marry me with these 3 kids,
Mm.
like or with these four
yeah,
Yeah,
kids?
that's crazy.
All of
That's
that shit
crazy.
though, all of the shit just snowballs though if you never take the time to evaluate the situation, if you never honest with yourself about that shit. And
yeah,
you can't like you shouldn't just be jumping from relationship to relationship because if you like you just said, I can't fix some shit that somebody else did. I can't fix some shit your mom did when I wasn't there. I don't know where the screws at. Where the
yeah.
fuck is the L? Does this take an
Most
L key or do
they
you
will
need
all
an
admit
L
to
key
stop
or
thinking they're going to washing
that's what I'm
machine.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, where's the pieces to this joint? Was it ever a back on this? Like, how am I supposed to fix this? We got a fucking I got an Allen wrench and you need a fucking you got an
Phillips,
Allen wrench.
right,
Yeah, you need a Phillips head. How the fuck am I gonna fix this joint?
Yeah,
right, right.
You can't figure none of that out though if that other person wasn't ever honest with themselves or evaluated themselves and did none of that fucking homework.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. Jay said. Well, let me go back to what Chris said earlier. After he said most men want to acknowledge their pain, he said, "I don't think it's an excuse. It can actually become a mental disability. I mean, I think that's still an excuse, but I mean, it becomes debilitating in general."
Yeah,
Jay also said, "Y'all hit the nail. It's therapy. I really want to yell, 'Sir, I'm not your mother.'" And then Chris says, "I feel that a lot of females find security in a man who is protective and financially secure with love and can't see all the red flags." Okay,
it
okay.
happened that way. I've listened. I've been there.
That's like the 80-20 from Medea. You all of the shit that you do not like that wasn't in your last situation. Well, at least this nigga got money and I know the lights ain't gonna be off. I can deal with he's
Mhm.
doing this or she's
Yeah,
doing that because these two major things that I couldn't do without, I have now.
yeah,
And
Right.
that's gonna be cool till it ain't.
yeah,
Right. It's definitely gonna be cool till it ain't. I mean, I that's an even bigger conversation, in terms of, are you allowing financial security to mask the red flags, to mask abuse, to mask dismissiveness and things like that,
finally.
Sounds
I'm
like you should be
glad I'm
writing
where
that
I'm at
one down
right
for
now
next
in
week,
life
Willie.
because I won't be financially dependent on people. Nope.
Sounds like you should be writing that one down for next week.
All right, for sure. For
We call
sure.
that a tease in the business.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but no, but like
Exactly.
even with women, I know women that fear marriage. I want to be married, but it's I would be lying if I said in the back of my head, okay, I'd have made it 41, whatever age I decide, or if I was to get married at this point in my life, and I got married, and I'm just like happy living off like because I watch videos all the time and like different videos of how shit go wrong, and then I'm thinking I'm happy, and all of a sudden the wool is put over my eyes, and this dude been cheating the entire time. It's a slap in the face. It's like I could have just still been single. Like why? So I think a lot of us females are scared of marriage only because that's the thought in our mind. Like we did all this, and it's an embarrassment. Like I really put out to the world, I love this man, got married to him, changed my last name, and now he out here living his best life in these streets. It's just
Can I ask a
it's
question?
everybody has that fear, but I think what it boils down to is trust. Do I
Right.
love a person
Appreciate
enough
you, Chris.
I can't go in with negative thoughts because that's a defeatist attitude. It's not going to work because if you just automatically think it's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong. So, and I feel like with relationships too, you have to go in it like where, like, hopefully you guys are like, you're talking and you're on the same page of what forward looks like for you guys. And if marriage is on in play, you guys are on the same playing field with that, or like on the same level with the thought process and what that looks like for you guys. Because nobody wants to get cheated on. Nobody really wants to get divorced. This life be life, and then two people be doing stuff, and you just either gotta. And like, I'm a person of, I'm not gonna stay just to say that I'm still married. I want to be happy, and if I'm not happy and I'm miserable, I can't see myself getting married and being miserable and staying that way because I wanted to get married. And I don't want it to look like I gave up. I want my happiness. I deserve it. And it's not going to be sitting in a relationship that I'm not happy in. And hopefully it doesn't take me getting married or whatever the case may be to be like, oh, this is misery.
That's right where my question was going. Does anybody ever post videos of happiness? Does anybody?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, but yeah, there's definitely a lot more negative.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go on TikTok and see like bad relationships and shit like that. But can you go on anywhere and see like we're happy? Like, this is what being happy looks
I go
like.
to my god sister page. She's always
well. Happy. I mean, there's people that see, and see. This is the catch-22 of that. You can see that. You can go to find plenty of people posting all the happiness and all the good times, but then those are the same people that you're gonna see in a year, 5 years, 10 years divorced or broken up because they weren't showing you what was really going on, the hard work they were putting in, the things that they were doing to either overcome or fail at those relationships. I think it can be looked at from either side. Some people post all the bad things, but then you go check on them and they're like, oh no, I'm good. They're like, I was just venting, you know what I'm saying? But they don't work through it, right? They don't work it out. I know a couple of couples like that where they were definitely vocal or definitely public about how they went through stuff, but right now they still going strong. And it's like, man, y'all still together? Like, is this toxic or is this and it's like, no, we just worked it out. Some of them be toxic, but you know what I'm saying? You never know.
My wife about to start the We Happy Instagram.
Hey, yo.
Hey,
no, my god sister, I love her page. Like, I like, that's why I will say, like, I feel like I have people I can go to their pages and stuff and follow them, and it's just all love. And like, even when I went to a wedding, you could feel the love at that wedding. Like, just seeing them together, it's just every time I see them together, I get happy. Like, bitch, like, this is great. Like, I don't know if y'all like going through that, but I always, every time I'm around, I feel like the love from them. It's just like it's not forced. It don't feel like they pretending. Like, I know people be hating, but like, I genuinely be like, every time I'm around them, I feel like I just like, oh my God, like watching him look at her and watching how she look at him. It's just amazing. It's the best thing I could ever see. And that gives me hope that it's like that. Just like, oh, I want that. Not necessarily, they're not couple goals for me because I don't know their real life in and out and stuff. But like, I can say every time I'm around them, I feel like you can feel the love they have for each other. It's just a very beautiful thing to be around.
As soon as they get in the car, he go, I can't stand your big head ass.
Right.
Got me smiling at these niggas at this cookout again.
Nah, but it'd be so cute. I don't, like I said, I don't know their personal life like that. I'm not there that they but like, just watching them and being out with them in public. Oh my God, I just want like, oh, I just want to hug y'all. Come here, just come on.
Hilarious, so hilarious.
Like I said, man, I love that type shit, man.
Yeah, it makes me feel like warm and fuzzy.
Like my man and his girl been together since high school, and their anniversary was just the other day. So shouts out to Nick and Nina. But like, when I see them, like I said, they've been together since they like 15. It's like, I love the way that they love each other, and like, and been through this, that, and whatever, your ups and your downs, and they stuck through all of that type shit. And salute to them for that.
Yeah.
They will be at pod. They should be at the Pod Link on August the 4th, though, Sonny.
That part, right? Show up, y'all. Show up. That part.
Sonny out there for her first live show.
I'm so excited. I was just talking to my friends. They better buy their tickets. I'm gonna find out if they bought them.
Yeah, we getting them tickets. The physical tickets should be printed up this week. We probably have them out next week.
Okay.
I get them posters and them tickets done.
Okay.
But the
Oh, for
link is in
sure, for
everybody's
sure.
the link is in everybody's bio. Tickets can be purchased
That
right
part.
now.
That
Yeah,
part.
for sure, for sure. Yeah, unfortunately, I won't be able to make it this time. I was at the I think the last one, but I ain't gonna be able to make it this time. I got some prior engagements, but I'm definitely looking forward to checking out, the highlights and supporting the cause because yeah, the Hyper always throws an amazing event. So make sure y'all go check that out. Hit the link in the bio and
Yeah.
be able to go, check out the pod link. So yep, make sure y'all do that. What's the date again? Is
August
for
4th.
the
August the
event?
4th. August the 4th. Doors are at 2:30. The show will start at 3 o'clock. Be on time because we will be starting with or without you because we have a curfew.
Yeah,
Oh no,
and that's in
I'm
Philly. So
definitely in the building.
for all the folks watching, that's going to be in Philly. Definitely, we definitely got to get you out here one day. Haim, do something big like that in Detroit. We definitely got to
I ain't
link
gonna
up,
hold
get
you.
the whole crew together.
Oh
My
yeah,
folks
I
was
come
trying to
to
get me to
I
come.
listen, I'm trying.
So I did actually talk to my folks out there. Was trying to get me to come do a live show in Detroit, and I told him, well, it makes sense. It makes sense. We cool and all until the business happens.
Right,
But
right,
um, yeah, I'm all for a road trip.
That part.
for sure. For sure, for sure. Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Always have these great conversations, these great topics. Make sure you guys get at us. You know where to find us on gftradioshow.com, as well as all our socials. We will be back. Actually, we'll be back I think we're planning in July.
Yeah.
But just be on the lookout. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the links, and we'll be making the announcement when we're back. We're going to take a little summer break, get some time off, get some things together so that we can
The main show, guys. The
come
main show.
back. Oh yeah, this is the main show. This is the Monday show. So Heim's show will still be going on. When he drops his shows, you'll get the notifications, you'll get the links. The Unreservedly Us show will be dropping. Actually, a show is coming up soon. Talking about accountability. So make sure
Yeah.
y'all look out for that. So the Monday show going to be taking a little break. So you won't see so much of me, but make sure y'all get with Hike. Make sure y'all get with Sunny, and they'll definitely keep you guys entertained and educated and informed. So make sure y'all do that as soon as possible. Again, How to Hustle podcast on Hype is every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Unreservedly Us is every Thursday at 10 p.m. So make sure you guys check that out. All right. And then, Sonny, tell the folks where they can find you.
You can find me at IamSunny_D, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and TikTok. Go to my blog, unreservedlyme.com. But go to my Instagram, go to the link, buy a ticket. I see y'all April 4th live.
For sure. For sure.
April,
August
not
the 4th.
August.
Yeah, August.
August. Jesus, my brain. I was all serious.
Hype, tell the folks where they can find you.
You follow me at I am Hype on Instagram and Twitter. Also at Custom Hustle World on Instagram, Custom Hustle Co. on Twitter. We have an announcement of a new product tomorrow. So make sure that y'all on the Instagram or the Twitter page where we will be announcing a brand new product for Custom Hustle. Where I own the outfit. That's the tag over there. My bad, y'all, in the last couple of weeks. Concerts is my regular situation. And once the summer comes, the concerts is coming. So trying to put together the pod link, trying to get regular work done. So we should have an episode out for Monday. But my bad, y'all, in the last couple of weeks. As again, life be life, and shout out to my man Nutmeg Nye and Big Meech, and also Nutmeg Nye will be on the panel August the 4th. Pod link. Get your tickets now.
For sure. For sure. Appreciate that. And it's your boy Willie Styles in the building. Get at me everywhere at Willie Styles on IG and Twitter. I'm Willie.Styles on Snapchat and TikTok. Visit me over at stylesradio.com for all the hot tracks that I'm listening to, or williestyles.info for all my links. I'm going to take me a much needed break, and then I'll be back strong in July or thereafter. So make sure you guys get with us at that time on the Monday show. Sunny will be back on Thursday with Unreservedly Us. Like Haim said, he'll be keeping you posted on the next How to Hustle Podcast with Hype. Make sure y'all go hit the links in their bios for the pod link on August 4th. Make sure y'all do that as soon as possible. We don't want those tickets to sell out before y'all get y'all's, for y'all cop your ticket. But make sure y'all go hit that link up as soon as possible. All right. Until next time, y'all know where to find us, gftradioshow.com. Go get our merchandise as well over at GFT Radio Creator Spring. Make sure y'all go check that out as well. But until next time, we are out. Oh, that thing just went out.
Yo, it's your boy Dame here.
Hey guys, it's your girl Sunny D.
Yo, it's your boy Smooth from the GFT Radio Network.
What up, though? It's your boy Willie Styles in the building.
Join us Mondays at 10 p.m. live on Twitch, YouTube, and our Facebook. And if you miss us, don't worry. You can catch it on our website, gftradioshow.com. And if you feel like talking to us every day, join our Facebook group.
At Join the Conversation, the group where you can discuss all kinds of topics.
Catch me also, Fans Perspective, Dope Sports Show. Holla at your boy.
You can cop some merchandise over at our store, teespring.com/stores/GFT Radio. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, masks, and even more.
Next time on GFT Radio, what are we talking about? Join the conversation to find out.
Make sure you get at us on GFTRadioshow.com for all of our audio and video